What's up, everybody? Puck Mike here, back with another video, and back with episode 7 of the Puck Mike Show. It's been probably over a year since I've done an episode of this show. What have I been doing? I know I have not done that many videos on this channel. I have been, I'm sure if you've watched my other videos and followed me closely, you know, I am a father of 2 children. I have a day job. I have another channel at Cards Sports Cards that I've been running. It's doing really well, up to I've monetized that channel. I have over 2,500 subscribers. And I also started another podcast on this channel, Penstock with Puck Mike. You can also read a blog at penstockwithpuckmike.com. So a lot of cool stuff happening, but I wanted to bring back this podcast because I thought it was really cool when I did it. Now that I have a little bit more time to do it, and going to start bringing back some hockey card content on this channel, hoping to do a checklist review of 24-25 Parkers coming out soon. So, what is the Puck Mike Show? Let's get it started. Let's see. The Puck Mike Show, a weekly show. It's actually not a weekly show, forgive me. The Puck Mike Show, a show discussing the latest and greatest hockey card content, featuring key segments like Around the League, top news stories around the world of hockey and their impact on the hockey card market, the Card Report, card-centric hockey card news, random pack breaks, and so much more. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me, guys. And as mentioned, don't forget, for my Penguins fans, you can check out my Pens Talk with Puck Mike podcast. Just posted a new video there yesterday on this same channel, as well as my other channel at Cards Sports Cards, where I share my experience selling mostly low-end sports cards on eBay. On today's show, we will kick off with our segment Around the League. We're going to jump over to the Card Report with some card-centric hobby news. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. We'll go to this week's Player Spotlight, and then we'll go around YouTube, see what's going on with some of the hockey card channels around the world of YouTube. 23-24 The Cup was just released, so some big dollars being spent right now. We'll see if people are making that money back or not. Let's start this off with Around the League. And we're going to go to the Atlanta Thrashers. Now, this is not anything new. The Atlanta Thrashers, they were in twice, I think they tried in Atlanta. I did not know, so I had to research here. I did not know that the Atlanta Thrashers had a team back in, that they started in 1999. I thought it was later for some reason. I don't know why. But there's a push right now, let's see, 1999, actually they had the Flames 1972, 1980. Then they relocated to Calgary. Thrashers 99 to 2011, moved to Winnipeg. I did not know that they had started in 1999, and this is not new. Anson Carter, he's an former player, analyst on TNT, kind of leading this push to try to get the Thrashers back to Atlanta. I will say I watched another podcast, hockey card podcast, I'm not going to name it, and they were talking about this recently, and they were just completely ripping this to shreds, like, oh, it's never going to work again in Atlanta, and there's a bunch of reasons why teams don't work. There were some ownership issues as I was reading with this team in the first place, or the second time around, excuse me. But, there's other towns that are not considered full, like, hockey towns that have teams that are being successful. So, people were just ripping Atlanta as in, like, it's never going to work, it's never going to work, it's not a hockey town. I mean, it worked for a while, you know? So, I don't know, I think it's kind of exciting that they are hopefully coming back. I mean, we'll see. You know, Gary Bettman has said that we're not trying to increase right now the teams in the league, but we're open to anything. I mean, if the price is right, let's just be real. He's going to be open to it, but he's not trying to force it because the game is growing. Revenue is really growing, hence why the cap is growing up and all those things. So we'll see what happens, but I thought it was kind of interesting, and I wanted to check out some of the cards out there. And I don't know if you guys use this trading card database. Really cool site. It's free. You can go there, and they have a paid version, I believe, but you can basically go there and look for any card by, like, player, set, team, etc. And so I was kind of curious how many Atlanta Thrashers cards were out there, and like when they first kind of came on the scene. There's roughly 13,000 cards out there. I mean, the first ones came on the scene in 98, 99. Pinnacle Craft, it's a sticker. This specific team checklist card. I think that one's actually really cool. And then you jump to 24, 25. We have some artifacts. I tried to find some of these, and I believe this is 24, 25 artifacts, fairly new, so I didn't see any of these out there. I think it was just released recently, so we don't have that out there yet, but really cool. Actually, let's put this in eBay if we could, and I want to see if there's any other. I just want to see what they look like. I was going to get a picture up of them, but we'll see. Yeah, here we go. So this would be one. It's not going to be this one, but this is what they would look like. This is the it's 24, 25. Yeah, but it would be and who's the player? Who's the player? Nelson Emerson. So I kind of want that card, to be honest, just because I think it's really cool. But it's nobody must have pulled it yet, because let's see, 24, 25 artifacts. When was that released? I think it was recently, so it must just not be. Well, if you know when it was released, comment, let me know. Let's see, release. Usually it tells you on here. We'll just take a quick peek. December 11th. Okay, so, well, it's 6 months ago. So somebody must not have pulled it yet, or they must not have put it out there yet for sale. But at any rate, I still think it's kind of cool. I mean, getting into this discussion, which, we'll get into, I think, a little bit more later in the show when I cover some of the other things I want to talk about. Like getting into this discussion of how much do these things impact a team? How much do these things, when they impact a team, impact card sales? Are people now going to be, because of news of this, going after some Atlanta Thrashers cards? I think no. I think if they start to maybe come back, like if it's certain that, hey, they're going to get a team again, like I could see these getting a little bit more buzz. What I'm actually planning on doing is buying, not like thousands and thousands, but maybe a couple hundred Thrashers collections out there, or cards with, again, some low-end stuff, nothing crazy. Some cards of theirs, unless I could get some autos and stuff for cheap. Like if no one's really, I don't know who's collecting. I don't know how many people are collecting Thrashers stuff right now. I feel like I've moved some Thrashers cards, some Danny Heatley stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to buy a couple collections, I think, and just kind of hold on to them and see. Or maybe I'll put them out there, but hopefully maybe we'll see if they'll get an increase if they come back. Moving on. Next topic. Gretzky is no longer the great one. Who is the great one now? I'm just kidding. He can still be the great one, of course. They're still going to call him the great one, but interesting thing to think about, because he's not the goal leader anymore. So my question is, I was kind of pondering, are his cards going to go down? And I looked here we can look at Card Letter Pro, and this is only based on, they have indexes in these platforms. This is based on only 89 cards, though. So, I mean, when did he break the record? It was like 2 months ago. I mean, it is trending down a little bit. But you also got to think season's kind of ending now. And, again, this is only 89 cards. This is not all cards. So, I think if you're still going to buy Gretzky cards, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. But I do think that, I will say this, the Capitals cards, I have a listing out there that's the Washington Capitals Stanley Cup champion set. That's a variation listing that is killing it. And I have tons of cards in that listing. I basically bought a case of it, and I got some of the team color variation sets numbered, and so it's doing really well. But OV cards and Caps cards crushed it this year. And I feel like it's kind of too late to some extent. Like, I think next year there'll still be some hype around that. But because it's like OV's probably going to be his last year. But, I mean, this was the year that the hype was there in terms of, like, he's chasing the goal record. He's going to do it. I mean, Caps cards went pretty good this year. So I think you probably missed the mark on that. And I probably would have bought more OV cards if I was even thinking it was going to peak that much and have that much hype. But I think over time, OV cards are much more of a safe bet than they were previously, just because, I mean, he had only really, I don't want to say only, but like, they won one cup, it's not... Now he's 100%, like, has the most goals in NHL history. So, I think his cards will hold a lot more. And I think Gretzky's will still be okay, but it's interesting to see that they trended down a little bit there. So, all right, continuing this segment of Around the League, the big free agent this offseason is Mitch Marner. And there's an article out there that shows, here, we'll look at it, about This is from ESPN. Talks about where Marner's going to go. They talked about going. I don't think he's going to stay with the Leafs. I just don't see it. I mean, they just need to shake up for their own sanity. I feel like he's got to go somewhere else. These are some of the other free agents, but really the point I wanted to kind of drive home with this is, there's going to be, I think, a lot of teams having their rosters kind of shooken up this offseason with some players like a Sam Bennett, like a Mitch Marner. And, what's that going to do for, let's just say Mitch Marner goes to Chicago, okay? I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm trying to think of teams that have cap space. I think they got cap space. What happens if he goes to Chicago? And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year, but, what does that do for Bedard's cards? Does that make his cards a little bit more desirable and give a little bit more hype? So these are things I think we got to pay attention to in the offseason. It's all that hype. Nobody's going to live up to that hype once the season starts. This is when you can kind of start to cash in, right now, honestly, because, we got the draft coming and then free agency and all that hype. It literally can change overnight. As soon as somebody gets traded or somebody gets a big signing, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, wait, he's on this team now? Oh, man, they might actually be good next year. Or who else is on this team, Same thing with somebody like a Sam Bennett, Brock Besser. I don't know how much impact these guys will have. Marchand, I don't think he'll have much impact in terms of where he's going to move the needle. Honestly, he would be good on Chicago because he's probably got a couple years left. And they need some vets there. He would actually be perfect on that team. We'll see if I called that or not. Nelson, Tavares, I don't think these guys will move the needle much. But I think it's an interesting discussion to have. Granlund's, I saw something that they're thinking about Robertson being on the block to make room for Grant to sign Granlund. That would be a mistake. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's an interesting discussion to have. Even a team like, not that they're going to bring in any big players, although I don't know, but, they brought in a big name coach, Anaheim, and Joel Quenneville, and, what does that do for some of their cards going into this year? Same thing with Utah. Utah now has a name, the Mammoth, and what does that do for cards where I haven't even seen any Utah cards come into I haven't been opening any products, but I haven't even seen any of the Utah cards come in. But what does that do for, this is the first year when they'll have the cards with the name actually the Utah Mammoth. Does that increase those potential? That's something we've always kind of talked about a lot on. So it's interesting to see, interesting to talk about, and interesting to see how that plays out over the summer and as the year starts. This is very interesting. If you guys haven't seen this, Jonathan Toews is moving forward with an NHL return, his agent said. He's 37 years old, played for the Blackhawks 2023, missed time due to illness, blah, blah, blah. He's coming back. He's not going to play for the Blackhawks, I doubt. I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be terrible. There's plenty of 37-year-olds who are terrible in the NHL. He's not going to be a Sid at 37. He's not going to be a Ovi at, 39. He's not going to be a Brent Burns, I think, at, 40? Maybe better than Brent Burns. But I was kind of curious to just kind of look at his cards, how they have trended over time. This is Market Movers here. I was kind of surprised to see they've trended down, recently. If we look at, I don't know why this only goes to because I have it set for the 5th. That's why. Let's go to 511 to 610. Let's do that instead. Well, that's 610 to 610. We don't want to do that. How about 510 to 610? Oh boy, this is not working well, is it? Okay. 510. 510, 610. There we go. We got it. It's kind of trended down. I mean, he's went from, first of all, okay, I cannot believe that this is selling for $167. This is just a raw Young Guns. And that was what, May 18th. When did this article come out? May 29th. That's before the news broke, I feel like, unless somebody knew something I didn't know, or the rest of us didn't know. But even after that, $150 trending down, which is kind of ironic. I still think this is way too much. I think he's a good player, but just for a raw version, 167. To me, that's kind of a lot. I wonder if we look at a PSA 10. It doesn't let me change it. Okay. Well, then we're not going to look at it. Is there no PSA 10s? How about a PSA 9? Is there no PSA 8s? Not working. Okay. Well, I mean, I thought that was interesting too. I think if you're a Toews collector, maybe buy now. I think if you're hopeful that where he signs has a value increase, maybe, let's see, free agency is July 1st. I guess, does he have to wait till free agency technically to sign? Or how does that work since he's not really under contract right now? I feel like he could sign now. I don't think anybody signs him like immediately. You know, you could wait another week or two, maybe cash in while it's a little low. I just don't see it skyrocketing once the season starts. I don't know. We don't know. This is how these things go. I mean, we don't know where he's going to sign. We don't know what it's going to be, what it's, you know, but I would say if you're thinking, now might be a good time to check that out. So, all right, let's move on. That was today's edition of Around the League. Now we are going to move on and get our next edition of The Card Report. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff to talk about in the Card Report this time around. Really big story. We're going to cover on this actually a few times. So massive payouts for Ovechkin and for Bedard Upper Deck hockey cards. Excuse me, guys. And the big one, I'm not really so much concerned about Bedard in terms of payout. I mean, he had a slump this year. I think his cards took a dip. Probably would be a good, if you're thinking he's going to come back next year, the value is going to increase next year. Might be good to buy some now, to be honest. But the big payout here and the big hype are these grade 8 cards numbered, and we're going to talk about these later in 24-25 extended. These grade 8 cards numbered. The first Ovechkin Young Guns buyback has surfaced on Slab Shark, so somebody pulled this. Current bid $20,000. That was as of June 6th. I don't know. I forgot to check how much it sold for, if it was still going. But Dave and Adams, big retailer, I buy some of my cards there. $100,000 offer to someone to buy the grade 8 numbered to 8 Young Guns buyback auto. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tempted to get a box of 24-25 extended, but I don't know. It's such a risk. But I think that is something really cool. I mean, these are cool. I like the little kind of marker look. This Young Gun design is kind of cool too. But very curious to see how much that sells for when that happens. This is a little bit similar, more on the story of Ovi. I don't think this is interesting in and of itself. I wanted to make a separate point here, but they're also honoring his goal scoring record with these great 8 cards that are E-Pack. They're only on the E-Pack, and I mean, that's cool. The point I wanted to make though and discuss is I'm sorry guys, and I realized I was not sharing the browser here. The point I wanted to make and discuss is I don't really think the E-Packs are all that interesting personally. And, you know, I know some people, maybe I think they're a little bit cheaper. Maybe that's all some people can afford and they really like them. That's totally fine. I'm not really into the E-Packs because I just like the cards. I mean, that's the whole thing, is a hockey card. And I think with the E-Packs, you can say you want them to buy the card then, or like have it sent to you. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're worried about inventory, though, like space, I mean, I guess that's cool. It's possible I don't fully understand the E-Packs yet. I mean, I did the Upper Deck thing that has, like, you get a free pack every day, but it's just, like, not really that exciting. I don't know. Not really. I'm not sold on them yet. Not sold on them yet. Somebody convince me if you want to convince me, unless you agree with me, and then there's no convincing that needs to be had. This one's really interesting. 1930s and 1940s baseball cards sold at an auction, an attic collection. And the only thing I think of when I see this, I didn't even read pretty much any of this, or Decades in a Cigar Box, more than 619. Like, you know, what are collectibles? And we'll talk about this too when we get to the player spotlight. What are collectibles and sports cards meant to be? Where are they meant to be? How are they meant to be? Are they meant to just sit in an attic? Are they meant to be sold? Are they meant to be collected and traded? I have a small collection. I had a bigger collection, nothing really fancy. I was collecting like all Penguins cards and stuff, but I try not to be too materialistic, to be honest with you, and hold on to them too much. And so I sell a lot of the cards. Even if I have something in my collection over time, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sell it. It's not like, unless it's like a one of one or something that's like your favorite card. Like, I don't usually have a lot of those. And so I try not to be too attached, I guess, to a lot of the cards, and knowing that someday I'm gonna sell them or trade them or give them away or to somebody who might find better value in them. But I think that's just kind of an interesting discussion to have, but also just something we can think about with ourselves. Like, what are the cards to us? And in general, like, if you have cards sitting in an attic, go get that box, or if grandpa's got a box sitting in the attic, hey, can I go check that out and see? Like, there's stories with the cards, there's stories with the players, there's stories with the photographs taken, there's books about those. There's a couple books I've read before about those kind of pictures and where they were taken for different players, at least in the hockey realm. And so, yeah, I just think it's interesting to think about that. Like, just, it's almost kind of sad, that cards, it's exciting but sad, because it's like, oh, it's so cool. This awesome thing is just sitting there and untouched, and listening to the quiet while the world was turning. But then now they're selling at an auction. It's just kind of cool to think about. So wanted to share that I found. And then another article here made me think a little bit. This was an article that came out through Card Lines. Guy said, basically, is MVP it's a great collectible, but it's not a great investment. And I kind of would agree. I just wanted to pose the question, and because MVP is supposed to be released, I think, in August. I think I saw that it was looking around like August, and it's always been a lower end product. It's never been a product that's that's going to break the bank, but it's also not one that's going to usually earn you a ton of money. Even some of those, I've always wanted to pull like a magenta auto. Even some of those magenta autos, though, I mean, I don't really even think they get you a huge return, to be honest. And so I probably would agree with the statement that it's a good collectible, but not a good investment. And I just say that knowing that a lot of people don't. Even some of the silver script. Well, here's what I'll say, though. I will say this, though, and just to counter that a little bit. I would say MVP is one of the products that has sold consistent for me from years past. I'll get like a silver script or like a super script or gold script or something or I don't think I've had the super scripts, but gold scripts over time and from like years past, and I'll put those out on eBay and I'll sell some of them. So those I think will have consistent demand, but you're not going to get more than $2 or $3 for it, and it's not going to be like every player. So that, and you could put them out as a variation listing, a lot of the base cards. I did that with some other. I don't think I did that with MVP. I did that with some of the other. Did that with an OPG box. That's a way to move some cards, but I think to do that, you really got to do it as soon as the product's released while people are set building and collecting. But I mean, I would say from an investment standpoint, if we're looking at long-term investments or we're going to grade some and get a return, it's probably not the best unless you get a really good like rare hit, which they don't usually have a ton of, rare hit that's like, you can get a PSA 10 or something like that. But for the most part, MVP is seen kind of as just a low-end product, fun little break, kind of the first 25, 26 product a lot of times that's released for the year. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, let's end today's version of
The Card Report.
And now we will move on to today's Player Spotlight. Today's Player Spotlight, we are going to feature a goaltender, former goaltender, Stanley Cup winner, Detroit Red Wings. Are you guessing? His name is Manny Legacy. I've heard it pronounced, but I've also heard Legacy. We'll say Legacy, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But Player Spotlight here, and really wanted to spotlight the memorabilia that he has. So he mentioned that he's got a lot of sticks from, well, first he kept all of his jerseys, even from the minors. He's got a lot of sticks from Red Wings teammates, Yzerman, Hall, Shanahan, Chris Chelios, Dominic Hasek, all the Hall of Famers. And he does not display them. He says his wife won't let him. He keeps them in a cupboard in the basement. Again, we got cards in the attic. We got sticks in the basement. What do we even got these things for, guys? At least put them out so people can see. Or, you know what, like, I don't know, auction them off or donate the money or something. It's just kind of like, what is... And I'm not saying just go ahead and... I'm not saying that to say they could be making people money, but, like, there could be some use for them, whether somebody makes money from it and then that money... Yeah, they sell it and somebody makes money, but it goes to a collector and they like it and they showcase it and show it to people. I mean, get these collectibles out there, make people happy. Now this guy is a head amateur goaltending scout for the New Jersey Devils. He coaches their minor league netminders in the AHL and ECHL. I wanted to check out his rookie card on eBay. And first I had to look up I use Trading Card Database, what it even looked like. And I think I had one of these at one point for sale in my inventory if I don't still have it out there. But I actually think it's a really cool looking rookie card. It's the 92-93 Upper Deck World Juniors kind of card. This is considered his rookie card, I believe. And if you go to Trading Card Database, we can also look at, and of course, let me share my browser here, guys. Apologies. We can also look at, let me go back and show you the rookie card now that we're sharing. So yeah, here is the rookie card. Pretty cool looking card. And then if we go to the Trading Card Database, first card came in 90-91, 7th inning sketch OHL, which I've actually opened. I think it was 91-92. Yeah, I opened a box of this for my retro series, I believe. Probably have that card out there too on eBay, or had it at least. And then the rookie card, you see 92 came on the scene for 92. And it's interesting that was his rookie card and it wasn't. It was World Junior Championships. Usually your rookie card is with it, with your team, but you go to 93. I don't think we saw him in any of the more regular type products, OPG Premier, until I think it was 97, 98, score 95. Let's just keep going. 95, 96. Yeah, when was it? Edge 697. I think it was. Oh yeah, here we go. He's in Pacific. 98, 99. Okay, and then 99, 2000. He was in Upper Deck. Okay, yeah. So Manitoba Moose UD exclusives. Okay, so he starts to get in some of the regulars. The MVP. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I thought it was just kind of cool to spotlight him, and again, really from the memorabilia conversation of, what is it kind of meant to have this memorabilia? We all have some. I would just kind of encourage us and challenge us to think more about, what that memorabilia is to us, whether we all have different goals too. We're selling. Some people are selling and collecting. I mean, if it's just kind of sitting there, we all get to a point too. You watch some of these other channels, people get a big collection. They get to this point where it's like, I've had it. I want to sell it and have somebody else get some enjoyment out of it, or sell it and parse it out and sell it and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just an interesting conversation that we should all kind of have too with ourselves, as far as how, what the memorabilia, what the cards are going to mean to us. So, moving on, let's go to our next segment and our last segment before we'll take a quick peek at some upcoming releases. But let's go around YouTube really quick. As I mentioned before, 23-24, the Cup was released. Ziri, $5,000 spend so far that we know of on the product. I think it's about $1,000 a box, right? So he opened 5 tins. He had some decent pulls. He had a Lou Hughes, I think it was a patch auto. He also had a Leo Carlson patch auto as well. Both some pretty good pulls. And I mean, not gonna pay for the boxes, but he had some pretty good pulls. GP Sports Cards also did some of those, and didn't have as much luck as Ziri did. He also did some 24-25 extended. A lot of 24-25 extended out there already. I know that's already happened. Nothing really major he pulled on that one. 25 23-24 Tournament Cup. Also saw some on Penn Simon 67. No major pulls. I wasn't seeing a lot, honestly, for the Cup. I wasn't seeing like a huge amount. It was just a lot of those Bedard, like number to 99, I think it was. Those kind of inserts. And I think the RPAs at the end of it, the Ricky Patch autos, a lot of them are numbered to 249, which is, I think, the higher side of the numbers. I think they could be numbered to 99. So there wasn't anything major on the first round from what I've seen of any of these pulls. So I am not going to spend the money to open the Cup. So, yeah, we'll just check out the other videos there. I think we're all done with 23-24 releases. I tried to look at like even the Dave and Adams site where I buy some of my cards, and I didn't see any more 23-24 out there slated for like a pre-sale. So I think we might be done with 23-24. This is new to me. So I don't know. Well, I don't know if this is new, but this is new to me. You know, I was looking for checklists. First of all, Cardboard Connection is not showing up. I used to get my checklist from Cardboard Connection. They're not showing up anymore as, I mean, it's a website, but, you know, they were showing up like first on the list when I would search for like a checklist of a set, and they're not showing up anymore. So I don't know what's going on there. And I also noticed that Upper Deck now has these checklists. There's no commentary. It's just literally this is what the card, which is great because you can get it from the horse's mouth, right? Because sometimes you're like, you know, some of these other sites can be confusing. You could see what's truly supposed to be in there. But I'm also like, was this always here? I did not know this was here. So I think that's cool, I guess. But so to find checklists, I've had to go to, I think another one I saw was Checklist Insider or something like, I know that's the Card Lines ones. I think it was like Checklist Insider or something that I used for some other checklists I was looking at. Because I don't know, if you know anything about Cardboard Connection, let me know, guys. But also wanted to take a quick peek into some products that are coming out soon, pre-sales here. As I mentioned, MVP, August 27th. I think the next one slated was Ice, I believe, on June 11th. And I believe that is probably going to come out because they got the case, and I think the checklist was already out for that one. I don't know if I'll do a review on a checklist on that. I'll probably do a review, OBG Platinum, July 2nd. I'll probably do a review, yeah, these are all July, of the Parkhurst, June, so now we're at what, June 18th? Is that after? Oh yeah, that's after. I thought, okay, so I thought that was before for some reason. The checklist for this is out. If I can find, I don't know. I had it up here. I must have. Right here it is. Checklist Insider. Yeah, it says June 18th. Usually the checklist is not released. The checklist, as in the actual players and everything. And again, it's even on the Upper Deck website. Usually it's not released unless they're certain that is going to be the release date. So probably safe with June 18th. I really might buy this one. I just haven't opened a box in so long. There's some Ovechkin cards in there. I mean, there's parallels. There's some high stuff you can get in here. I just like them because they're it's kind of like a retro looking set. I've always liked the Parkhurst kind of brands. Pretty simple, but still pretty cool. I really like this card. This card's really cool too. Yeah, I like a little bit more simple hockey cards sometimes, you know, just a little bit more retro. So like I said, I'll probably do a checklist review of this now that the checklist is out. So be sure to keep an eye out for that video. As always, guys, I want to thank you for joining me back here at episode 7 of the Puck Mike Show. Like I said, I know it's been a while since I've done some hockey card content here. Been very busy with the fam and working on the other channel, doing my day job. And so excited to kind of get back into the hockey cards and get back into some of the checklists and open some of the boxes. So we'll see you back next time for episode 8 of the Puck Mike Show. As always, you can tune in to the Puck Mike Show, a podcast discussing the latest and greatest hockey card news, featuring key segments like Around the League, the top news stories around the world of hockey and their impact on the hockey card market, the card report, card-centric hockey card news, random pack breaks, and so much more. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me. And again, don't forget, for my Penguins fans, you can check out my Pens Talk with Puck Mike podcast On this same channel, there's also a blog at penstockwithpuckmike.com, as well as my other channel at Card Sports Cards, where I share my experience selling mostly low-end sports cards on eBay. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll check you later.